here's a question. When does a thief stop being a thief in Paul's mind? Not when he stops stealing things, but when he starts working, becoming productive, and being generous with that which he's earned of his own accord. Isn't that awesome? So you cannot steal things and be a thief by not working honestly or not being generous with what you have. Myth number 5, Jesus is all about grace, therefore he is indifferent to my work ethic. Jesus is all about grace, therefore he is indifferent to my work ethic. Now, Christians would never say this functionally, but or say this theoretically or theologically, but functionally their life spells it out very loudly. Look at Colossians chapter 3. So Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians. Go to your right. Colossians chapter 3, and listen how Paul explains how we should view our vocation. Chapter 3, verse 18. Wives, submit to your husbands, as is fitting to the Lord. Husbands, love your wives, and do not be harsh with them. Children, obey your parents in everything, for this pleases the Lord. Fathers, do not provoke your children, lest they become discouraged. So he's talking about different vocations here. There's the vocation of motherhood, of wifehood, of fatherhood, of husbandhood. These are vocations. Mothers at home, if someone asks you, do you work or stay at home? After you put the hand back down in the pocket, you know. Yes, you do. That's your work God's given you to do. That's your work. We don't always get paid for our work. If you're at home with children, you're working. If you're a student going to school, that's your vocation right now. That's the work God's given you for you to enjoy and do to His glory. Now watch Paul flesh it out. Slaves, which were almost identical to employees now, they weren't beaten and they owned things and they worked for a living. Slaves, obey in everything those who are your earthly masters, not by way of eye service as people pleasers, but with sincerity of heart, fearing the Lord. What's he saying? Those of you who work for a boss, don't just work to impress them, because what will happen? First of all, you're looking to them for your approval. Secondly, when they're not there, guess what happens? Your work ethic. To the tank. My boss is on vacation in Chelan this week or at Whistler. Kick back, punch on the clock, listen to the game, just kind of slow things down a bit. You're not robbing your employer. Paul says you're robbing God. He keeps going. Verse 23, whatever you do, whether you deliver babies, or whether you build houses, or whether you oversee a company, or whether you are a student at a school, whatever your vocation is, whether you're staying at home with your 2 or 3 or 4 children, whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for men, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the inheritance as your reward. You are Christian, serving the Lord. Student, how would this revolutionize how you view homework? Not as something you do to please your teacher or get your parents off your back, but you do as an offering of worship to the Lord. Meaning, whether your parents are in the room or not, you're giving everything you have, or, using Paul's language, you're working heartily unto the Lord because that is the vocation He's called you to at this time. It means you're grateful to your parents for providing a home that you haven't paid for and food that you haven't paid for because they're enabling you to get your feet under you so you can go and become a productive member of society yourself and eventually give back and serve and bless others as they have done for you all these 16, 18, 20 years plus. You see how this can infuse the most menial of tasks with the greatest of meaning? Because you're not doing it to serve man or to please man or to use man to boost your own self-esteem or to boost your own sense of approval or to boost your own need for achievement. You've received those things from Jesus, so you're free to serve man and not use them but bless them, whether they're there or not.